I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Hey there, this is Samantha once again. Welcome back to another review of another newer film, and that is Underwater. Now, I wasn't sure what I was going to say about this because I saw the film, and at the end of the day, I would call it a decent to mediocre time waster, which is far above than what I thought it would be, because again, I want to see more newer films, take my mind off stuff. And I know my friend Michael Keane, the Choice Voice, hated it, and it sounded like I'm probably not gonna like it either. But maybe because I had low expectations, maybe because I've seen much worse, like The Grudge and Doolittle already this year. Underwater is a sci-fi horror film. It takes place underwater. It's derivative, cliche-ridden, not a lot of character development or depth. But I don't know, it's one of those films that I kind of get more mad because I see the potential to be a very great, solid movie, and some stuff is squandered, so it just becomes a decent time waster. I don't know if that makes sense. The plot of the film, which is a very fast-paced movie, I'll give it that. I mean, 5 minutes in, you're in the disaster that happens on this drilling platform by Tion Industries, trying to drill 7 miles to the bottom of the Mariana Trench for resources. A large earthquake hits, and the station gets fucked up, and then it's a tale of survival where you quickly meet these characters led by Kristen Stewart, and they have to escape, and then there happens to be creatures, which kind of remind me a little bit of Deep Star 6. Not the creatures, but in that film it wasn't an earthquake, it was an explosion. But something happens, the station gets a ruckus, destroyed or damaged, I should say, and then it's a little bit of survival tale, and then the creatures come upon it. And yeah, this movie isn't up to Deep Rising with Treat Williams, or Leviathan, which is the poster here, or The Abyss, or even Deep Star 6. But it's one of those things that it went at a good pace. I thought all the actors did fine. I would have sure appreciated more character growth on them, but I thought the actors did fine. Kristen Stewart surprised me, I will admit, based on her acting as it went along and some of the actions the character did, especially the finale. I kind of grew to not mind her character. Kristen Stewart, I thought, actually pulled it off fairly decently, which didn't surprise me, but granted, I only see, bits and pieces of those Twilight films, but I haven't seen too much other stuff with Kristen Stewart. But she actually showed emotion, but not over the top, and she actually showed she was scared at times, so it wasn't a feminazi perfect character. It was not much on the table for character, but it's not a Mary Sue type of character is what I'm getting at. T.J. Miller, I know a lot of people didn't like him in this. I wouldn't say a lot of his jokes landed, but I actually liked him better here than in the Deadpool films, because I think in here there seemed more moments of him being a little bit real. Granted, again, his jokes didn't really land the best, but I don't know, just he seemed to fit better in this environment than the Deadpool films. I know I'm alone in that, but actually, for the most part, didn't mind T.J. Miller. Again, he could reworked his jokes, but yeah, I actually didn't mind him. He seemed like a character that would kind of fit in those older films. Granted, not as good as, say, Daniel Stern in Leviathan, but I just see him fit in that kind of environment. Again, maybe not as good as Danny McBride in Alien Covenant, but still, I mean, the other actors, I thought they did fine. You had Vincent Cassel as the captain, Jessica Henwick as a girl named Emily, John Gallagher Jr., who is the lead in the Belko Experiment. He has a support role. He did fine. The creatures, when you see them, granted CGI, but I don't know, it didn't bother me too much in this. Maybe because I didn't mind the design when you saw the creatures. And then there's a big creature that you see, which I like the design. I also enjoyed the reveal, whereas in the darkness of the ocean, and then a flare goes by and you see sort of the silhouette of it. It reminds you a little bit of like Cthulhu, or almost as if the Cloverfield monster was underwater. The budget looks like it's on the screen. It looked like some nice production value. The sets, I enjoyed the look of the film. The lighting, I thought the lighting and the sets gave it a bit of an atmosphere to it. Sometimes a little bit of claustrophobic atmosphere. I do commend the lighting and the set design and the look of the interiors. Again, remind me a little bit of what I would see back in the day for those films. Again, done better in Leviathan or Deep Star 6, but I liked that was sort of what they're invoking. It's PG-13, but there are a couple decent, not a lot, but a couple decent violent moments. A person gets imploded. One person kind of looks like gets ripped out of the suit. But it's not a gory film. I think that's one thing. It could have used an R rating. Sure, why not? I don't know. It just, when I looked at the elements, I guess the best way to put it is this. If I knew nothing about this film, and we were in the 90s, no, let's say early 2000s, let's say around 2004, and you look at the video store, and you see a movie on VHS or DVD, and you're like, what's this film? Underwater? Let me rent it. It's a couple bucks. Take it home. And then you watch it and you go, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that could have been better. But, it's a rainy day. I think if you saw this on Netflix, you'd be like, okay, I killed 90 minutes. I've seen much worse. I've seen much better. Much worse, I mean, I'll take this over Proteus, which was a movie, I forgot what year it was. I want to say in the 90s, that took place in like an oil rig platform. And that was a pretty bad movie. I'll take this over The Evil Below or Lords of the Deep from back in the day. Or something, I'll take this over Alien Covenant or Prometheus or some of this creature feature. Life with Ryan Reynolds, which I fucking hated. I hated the misusage of Ryan Reynolds. I hated the ending of Life. Here, the ending, I would have changed a couple things, but it's more satisfying than the ending of Life. Like, Life, I fucking despised. I thought it was a piece of fucking shit. This, again, it moved at a quick pace. 5 minutes in, that's when the shit hits the fan. The direction, I thought, was pretty solid. I mean, there are times when the action in the water, it becomes a bit murky with the quick motions. I wouldn't say it's schizophrenic editing. It's not that. There's actually this bit of editing, I kind of wish he did it more, but I didn't mind, where It'd be like little moments of slow-mo and then the action would continue. I kind of wish he did that a bit more. But, maybe that was the right call and not over-abuse it, because some people would tend to do that. So, again, while some of the frenetic action in the water would seem a bit discombobulated to watch, I don't want to get more into spoilers, but again, it's not a great or a good film. I don't think it's a terrible, awful film. Again, it's just... Okay, if I saw this for $1, I would get it. One of those. It was maybe because I'm a sucker of underwater creature feature flicks, and they don't make those kind of films anymore. But then that kind of makes me mad because there's the potential to make this great, and it just goes, eh. Again, I liked Kristen Stewart. I actually thought she did a pretty decent job. But I would prefer, Sandra Bullock, Charlize Theron, or even Carl Urban, or Thomas Jane, or Aaron Eckhart. Any number of actors and actresses. The cast did fine, but yeah, there could have been a bit more meat to the potatoes. Even Leviathan, that's a film that actually does have a bit of character development. Richard Crenna, about the doctor and something happened in the past, and do we trust him? Peter Weller's character, he's a guy, he's the leader, but he doesn't know what he's doing, so he's reading like self-help books and practicing in front of a mirror. The doctor's my responsibility. Oh, bullshit. Leviathan has an excellent cast and an excellent score, and you do care about the characters. Does spend some time developing them, and then you have some fun, creature feature stuff. The director did The Signal, which I think is a miles better movie than that. But I think the director should have taken notes from Leviathan on really beefing up characters. Because, again, the cast did fine, but at times the cannon fodder, like the one girl, Jessica Henwick's character, pretty much she's steered, but not too over the top that it becomes annoying or aggravating. The other guy, John Gallagher Jr., he tries to help out, then there's a point a creature tries to drive him away, messes up his suit, so they're dragging him for a good chunk of the movie. The captain, again, really nothing to him. And again, it's just the actor did fine in his role. I think that's the thing, is that, dealing more into spoilers, it's sort of a cliche, pedestrian, derivative movie. What do I mean by that? The black guy dies first. I can't believe they did that. I'm like, come on, really? Technically then there were crew members, which you've seen this before in underwater movies, where they're trying to get through, but they have to close the door because otherwise it'll depressurize or something about the pressure, and it'll kill everybody on the station. We've seen that before. You have kind of a Ripley type in Kristen Stewart's character. You have the comic relief character, which is T.J. Miller's character. They did not do this person's a villain. They didn't do that. And like T.J. Miller, I was surprised they didn't do that. He's just a chicken shit and he's scared of it. There's certain cliches they didn't do I appreciate as well. Like I said, the monster reminds you a little bit of Cloverfield if it was underwater. Just even has smaller creatures that come off it and try to attack, like the Cloverfield monster had. When I saw the trailers, and spoilers, I knew T.J. Miller would die. I even knew the scene he would die. And the scene in the trailer when he's underwater, he's got me. Yep, that's when he dies. I'm like, let me guess, that's where he dies. And I called it, so it doesn't really do anything that original or creative or unique. Granted, I don't know what more you could do unique-wise underwater for a sci-fi horror, because they've done the E.T. thing with the Abyss. They've done The Thing with Leviathan. They've done Alien with Leviathan, Deep Star Six, various others. So again, I'm like, what more could you do with an underwater sci-fi horror? So maybe the fat's not more creative and it's a bit derivative. Maybe it doesn't make me as mad as it would others, but I can understand the point. I thought the score, it's not remarkable, but it fit the film, what it was trying to do. The creatures, you don't get a lot of action from them. It's mainly maybe the second half, because the first half is, I did like 5 minutes in, Kristen Stewart's brushing her teeth, and then the shit hits the fan. I can understand people being mad, like, maybe we should get more development on these characters before the shit hits the fan. And, 5 minutes of just seeing these guys interact with each other before that would not have hurt. But I don't know, part of me, I kind of appreciate how fast it went, because there are other movies that try 30 minutes for character development and they suck so badly at it. Let me put it this way. I mean, you wanted to see an awful film like this? Doom Annihilation is an awful film like this with women power. Maybe that's another thing. Like, I saw Doom Annihilation last year. I'm like, this film is a masterpiece compared to Doom Annihilation. Maybe that's not saying much, but again, I don't think you needed to kill the black guy first. Well, technically not first, but pretty much first. He does get imploded, which I thought was... It's not gory, but it was just violent for a PG-13, which I appreciated. T.J. Miller, again, his jokes could have hit better. Maybe a reworking of the script, or, hey, just change it up. Or just act more real. Less on the jokes. It doesn't need a joke every 5 minutes, TJ. But, the little moments of him being real, I actually liked him more in this than in the Deadpool movies. Which you did none of that. It's just constant, well, he's not in those films much, and then when he does appear, just random keep going jokes that I didn't think were funny, to be honest. But I just see like potential TJ Miller, and I think if the director said, you know what, just ease up on the jokes, be more real, more you, and I would have had him and Kristen Stewart be the ones that live at the end, or maybe another person. Yeah, I just see these being the characters I like the most based on their reactions or interactions and such. I guess I always spoil that. Yeah, Kristen Stewart character does die at the end, but it's a self-sacrifice. And I thought that was handled the right way. You can do self-sacrifice, but it's handled the right way, because what happens is they get to this place. There's only a few escape pods working. So they put John Gallagher Jr. in one, the girl in the other, and she's fighting, no, wait, you gotta come with me. No, you can't, I can't. Like, the way they interact, I don't know, it just felt... genuine seems like an over-the-top word to use. I like the moment where Kristen Stewart punches her to keep her staying in there. I don't know, it didn't feel too over-the-top and over-dramatic in that bit. It's just, here's a character doing the right thing. And then even more so, she sees the two pods going up, but a lot of the little creatures are going after them, and she self-destructs the thing. Again, I thought the way it was done, it wasn't out of the blue, it wasn't disrespectful. I know that's a weird way to put it. Like, yeah, if you don't do a self-sacrifice, this is the right way to do it. And then you only got like a little bit of a backstory where she had a fiance who was optimistic and he died, and so after that she's been sort of pessimistic, but here's something that she put above herself. Again, maybe a bit more of that character development would have been appreciated, but there's a little bit there. So again, I mean, that's what I mean. In the negatives, maybe a bit more creature action, maybe some practical effects to be utilized in there, and then bump it up to an R rating. Either actors cast more wildly charismatic, crazy actors and actresses, or give a bit more meat to their bones for the characters. Maybe do something unique where you think, oh, well, she's going to be the Ripley character and she's going to be the lead, but then she dies. Oh, shit, we didn't see that coming. And then it's, if T.J. Miller played it real, or if you had, again, an older actor like a Carl Urban or Thomas Jane, or, you know, or even, you know, a Sandra Bullock, like someone who you would think would be the Captain Dallas, and she would die, but she actually lives, and the one who thought would be Ripley, she's the one who dies. I don't know, just something to play around with that. Like, that's one thing that Deep Blue Sea did well, among a variety of things. Like, Deep Blue Sea is a very fun movie. I know it's not technically the same, but they're both on the water, just one's a shark movie. But Deep Blue Sea, one of the many things that make that film work is, number one, the two characters I like the most are the ones that live. And you didn't expect the last two would be Thomas Jane and LL Cool J. You expected, well, you know, the girl's gotta live somehow, because that's the formula. And then she dies and gets eaten up, and, well, LL Cool J, he's not really the comic relief, but kinda a little bit, but not too over the top. Well, your comic relief's going to die. Oh, well, wait. Like, they kind of maybe played around with the cliches a little bit in that. I think that's what this film could have done. Maybe take a few chances. But again, the atmosphere, the lighting, the technical aspects I thought was fairly well done. I do see the budget on the screen. For when everything goes haywire 5 minutes in, Kristen Stewart decently surprised me. She was better than I thought she'd be. And by the end, I'm like, oh, kind of felt bad for the character. Again, not based on the script, but based on, you know, her actions and what the character did. The other side characters, again, they're pretty much cannon fodder. They needed more meat to their bones. But the acting was fine. I didn't think, again, I know a lot of people hated T.J. Miller. He didn't bother me as much as other people. But, you know, some of his jokes did not land. I will admit that. The score fit the film. It wasn't memorable. I mean, it's no Jerry Goldsmith from Leviathan or anything of that nature, but it wasn't obtrusive or inappropriate either. Again, this seems like a movie that, if you're into underwater horror movies, it's nowhere near as good as Leviathan, which that film works because of the culmination of great practical effects, beefing up the R rating so you're not holding anything back. It does have some character development and just a great cast of charismatic actors, actresses, fantastic score by Jerry Goldsmith, and quirky moments like punching Meg Foster in the face. Better, a lot better. I mean, you know, that type of stuff. The culmination of that here, again, it's because this film bombed. No one's going to do any underwater horror movies with a budget for, I don't know, forever. Or another 10, 15, 20 years. And then the fact that this is the one that came out and you go, it's pretty, it's okay, but I wish it was more than just okay. If people don't like it, I can't defend the film. But it's like, it's okay, it's alright, I don't think it's a bad film. It's just a derivative, almost by the numbers film, but yeah, I do think it's well shot. I think the light and atmosphere, the sets, the way they look, all fit pretty good. The acting was fine. The lead, Kristen Stewart, was better than I thought she would be. The ending wasn't a downbeat bullshit, horseshit ending like Life. Went at a good pace, so I wasn't bored. It's a fairly short film. Again, like 90 minutes long, if that. So I did. If you see it at a matinee, cheap in the theater or on Netflix, you could do a lot worse. I just wish it was a lot better.
You made it. No one back at Trioceanic believes me, but I never gave up on you once. How do you feel?
Better. A lot better.
I just wish it was a lot better. But considering I thought it'd be absolute dog shit, that's kind of a step up. Quite a few steps up, especially after seeing The Grudge and Doolittle and shit. So, there you go. So take that for what you will. Thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll see you in the next video, which will probably be Bad Boys for Life. See you guys later.